Hi, good day. This is grade 12 maths, and we're going to do the proportion theorem. So if you hear the term proportion theorem or see a diagram, the most important thing to look at is two lines that are parallel. So there's line 1, line 2, and they are parallel. So that is two things that you have to look at. Then usually they will give, in this case, they give a sum like this: AT divided by TC is equal to 1 over 3. Now, this is AT, this is TC, and they say the proportion is 1 over 3. Now, just keep in mind, it doesn't mean the sides is equal to 1 over 3. So I just wrote it down for now, but it doesn't mean AT is 1 and TC is 3. It's a proportion. For example, let's say AT was 4 and TC, this is now length, centimeters, and TC was 12 centimeters. Then you can say AT over TC equal to 4 over 12. And if you divide that, you'll get 1 over 3, which is the same as that. So this is what it means. This can be anything in centimeters. But in the proportion, we don't write 1 and 3. We just write the letter. So I'm going to write 1A and 3A. So it's almost like we say, let this whole thing be A. So in this case, it will actually be 4A if you take 1A plus 3A. So the whole AC is equal to 4A, but we just keep the A there to say it is a constant. So for example, if TC was 12 and we say 3A is equal to 12, then we have 3A equals 12 and A equals 4. This is not important, but I'm just trying to say if A is equal to 4 and AT is 1A, that is 1 times 4, then that is that 4 centimeters. So I'm just trying to explain first the A, what does the constants mean, but we're going to use the constants in all the lengths. So each length is going to have a constant. So if we work with this side is A, and we're going to work with this side soon, and the constant is going to be B. All right, so I'm just going to remove all the other things. So that was just to explain the constant. So it's not the length, it's just a constant that we are going to use from now on. Okay, so now let's say, so we have that 1A over 3A. Now, if you have something like this, and you have the lines that are parallel, then let me just see how can I draw this. So I'm going to draw a triangle now. And this is this triangle. So to see if you can see that triangle, and then with its two lines that are parallel. So if you just focus on the red triangle and the lines that are parallel, then you can see almost like these two lines are opposite each other and these two lines are opposite each other. So if you do that, and if this is parallel, that means, so we said this side is B. So I'm going to mark this is going to be the same like that, which is 1. Let's write it in blue. So this is going to be 1. Sorry for that. So that's going to be 1. This is going to be 3. Why? Because this line here is between the two parallel lines, and this line RQ is also between the two parallel lines. So that's the one it's the same as that one, and this line is between C and that parallel line, and this line QC is also between C and the parallel line, and it's 3. But remember, this is B. Let's make it a blue B. So this is 3B and 1B. So it's not the side 1 centimeter or 3 centimeters. The B's and the A's are constant, and this is how you mark it. So let's just see what else they give. They give CQ is 4. So we just CQ. So let's just remove the 1B and 2B for now. And let's just park that. And let's just see if we use the Q. So they say QC is 4. So I'm going to keep the B, but I'm going to write 4 over there. 4B over BR. BR is 3. I'm going to put 3B over here. So CQ is 4. BR is 3. And I'm going to put B over there. So keep in mind, we could have used, I can actually do this in red, where we could have had this here as 1B of 1C. So just remember, everything is different constants. 1C, and that is 3C. Let's see if we're going to need it. So they say we need RQ, which is that over there, divided by RC. So RQ is that line divided by the whole line over here, RC. So let's just see what we can do. Do we have this as BR? We don't have RQ yet, but let's just see if we can work it out. So if you have RQ over QC, so it's this one divided by that one. So that equals, so this is RQ, opposite is AT, divide by, and the opposite of QC is TC. So RQ divided by QC is equal to AT divided by TC. So I'm just keeping the ratios the same. This one divided by that equals that divided by that. So AT we said is 1A, TC is 3A, and now the A's cancel each other out, and then it's just 1 over 3. So RQ divided by QC, that is equal to 1 over 3. I'm just checking the questions here, just to see if I'm right, and yes, that is the answer. Yeah, but I see I made a mistake. So here I had RQ over QC, and here is AT over TC, and it's not the same as that one. So let me just remove that for now. So we have this answer over here. So, but now I'm going to do it a different one. I'm going to say RQ divided by, and I'm going to say the whole RC over here. So I'm taking the one smaller line divided by the bigger one RC. That will equal the smaller one AT divide by the bigger one AC. So AT we had as 1A, and AC, the whole one, equals the AT plus the TC, which is this 4A over here. And that will equal the A's cancel out, and that answer is just 1 over 4. So this answer, RQ over RC, equals 1 over 4. There we go. Thank you. All right, let's do another one. So now they say here, it's a different question. So PA divided by PQ is 5 over 8. Now, let's first see if we can try to identify a type of triangle that we can use. So I'm going to, if you look at the parallel lines, so there's the one, there's the other one. So that means we're going to use this triangle over here, this bluish triangle, of which the green lines are parallel. So if you see something like this, you can already see this one here, PA is opposite PB, and QA is opposite BC. And this whole line here, PQ is opposite PC. And keep in mind, we always work from the parallel lines. So that's why it's almost like the parallel lines divide everything. So that's why from P to the end of the parallel line, C will be the same as that P to the end of this parallel line. So that's just something to keep in mind. Right, so let's see, PA is 5. So I'm just going to write 5 over here. And remember, we're working with, again, is not length. So I'm going to add the A, which is a constant. So it's just helping with the ratios. So PA is 5 and PQ is 8. So PQ is the whole one over here. So that's 8A. So if PQ, which is the whole line, is 8A, then AQ, we can assume is the 8A minus 5A, which is 3A. So that both 3A plus 5A give us the 8A. Right, so we have that part. Now they ask, what is PB over BR? So here's PB and here's BR. So this bottom part is not even part of it. But let's just see something. I forgot to say, in the question, they say point C is the midpoint of PR. Midpoint of PR. So there's P, there's R. So the whole line over here, that is PR, of which C is the midpoint. Which tells me, if we can determine PC, then we can determine CR as well, because C is the midpoint. So let's assume, or let's write this as letter B. So the whole one is B. We don't know how much B yet, but let's call it B. But we have this 5A over here, and the opposite side here is PB. So let's call that 5B. And if this is 3A, then the opposite side to 3A, BC, will be 3A. So now we have a 5B, and sorry, not A, that is 3B. We always keep the one side A and the other side B. So now we have the 5B, which corresponds with the 5A, and the 3A that corresponds with the 3B. But keep in mind, the PC is the center. Oh, sorry, C is the center, so PC equals CR, and PC equals PB plus BC, which equals 5B plus 3B, which equals 8B. So I'm going to do this. So PB, that part, let's do a different color that you can see. So PC, which is this, that is what I worked out there. That is 8B. But then all of this is equal to CR as well. So CR is also 8B. All right, so now we have lots of things to play with. So let's see, what do we need to do? We need to find PB over BR. So I'm seeing a lot of letters and numbers. So let's just write this out properly. So PB divided by BR equals, PB is 5B. So that's 5B divided by BR is BR, which is 3B plus 8B. So BR is this whole red line over here, which is BC plus CR. So that is 3B plus 8B. So it's 3B plus 8B. All of that equals 5B over 11B. B cancel each other out. So the answer is just 5 divided by 11. And that is the answer for PB divided by BR, 5 divided by 11. Right. So this one, you see there's a couple of X's that we have. So we basically just need to find X. So just keep again in mind, this is parallel. And let's just draw the triangle that we're busy with. So here's this one triangle, but in the other ones, there were more triangles. So this one looks quite easier than the others. But now let's see what can we put against each other. So this is proportions. So if this is parallel, it means what you can say is the one side divided by that equals that over that. So let's just write a couple of things out. So you can say PM divided by MQ equals PS divided by SR. So I'm just keeping PM, so that one divided by QM or MQ equals PS divided by SR. You also could have said PM divided by PQ, that is the whole line, equals PS divided by PR. So the small line divided by the bigger one, PQ, equals the small line PS divided by the bigger one, PR. All right, so it doesn't matter how you work it out. You may just do what's best. For now, I'm going to remove this because I'm going to use the PM one. And why the PM one? Because I see a lot of x's, and I'm just going to try to derive at the equation where I have a couple of x's, and then it will just be the normal solve for x. So PM is x, and MQ equals 2. That equals PS is x plus 2 over SR equals 3. The only thing I've done is just I've substituted the numbers here. X and 2 equals x plus 2 over 3. And now you can see this is just a normal math sum. So how I'm going to do it, just cross multiply. So I'm going to say 3 times x. So I'm just going to write here on top, 3 times x equals 2 times x plus 2. 2 times x plus 2. So that's 3x equals 2x plus 4. That's a bracket, eh? So 3x minus 2x equals 4. So x equal to 4. And that's the answer that you want. So let's just put it in. If this is x plus 4, then that's 4 plus 2 equals 6. And that will be 4. Now you can just test it. See if it makes sense. So let's just see if you say 4 divided by 2. What is that? 4 divided by 2 equals 2. And what is 6 divided by 3? 6 divided by 3 is also equal to 2. And this is kind of how you can test to see if it works. All right, so that's what we have over there. All right, let's do another one. So we have this triangle over here. We have the 2 lines that are parallel. Let's call it ADB, ADB. This is E and C. So now they give 5 centimeters. Take note, the previous ones, they never said centimeters. And X centimeters. So they give you all of that. They also say AB, which is the whole line over here, equals 6 centimeters. So that is what they give. EC is this one that we have. We have AC. And now they say again, find X. So let's see what can we do. So we have to find X. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to try to see if I can use the 6. So I have an X there, I have a 6, I have a 5 and a 3. So I'm just going to say this blue line, which is the X, I'm going to divide by the red line. So it's AD over AB. So AD divided by AB, and that is going to give me X divided by 6 centimeters. So just keep in mind that 6 centimeters. And AB over AD, that's going to equal, so I had the smaller line divided by the bigger line. So we just keep it the same here. So I'm going to do this one. And the bigger line here will be AC. So the smaller one is AE. And the bigger one is AC. Yeah, the smaller one is 5 centimeters. The bigger one is 5 plus 3 because we're looking at the whole one. So that is 8 centimeters. So AC is going to be 8 centimeters. So you don't need to write the centimeters now. And now you just have a normal sum. So if you do that, then X is equal to 5 times 6 divided by 8. That is 30 divided by 8. That is 15 divided by, I'm just dividing both by 2, divided by 4. And if you simplify, you'll get 3 and 3 3/4. So X here on top equals 3 3/4. That's how you do that one. All right, let's tackle another one. So we have this big one over here. So just keep in mind this is now 2. So this line are parallel. So that's the angle A. Oops, E. Sorry, H, E, B, G, C, D, and then we have these two that are parallel. So now we're sitting with 2 parallel lines. We're sitting with, let's call it this one over here. So let's mark that blue and mark that green. Oops. So now we might sit with 2 type of different triangles. But let's just see what do they give. So they give AD. So there's AD and there's DC. So they say it's 5/3. So AD, they say it's 5 over DC, it's 3. So let's keep it constant. Let's call this side A. Remember, if we don't know, they don't say. So what they said was this AD divided by DC equals 5/3. So it's not lengths, it's just ratios. So if we deal with ratios, we have to put the constants in. Then they also say BG. So let me write it. BG divided by GC equals 2/1. So where's BG? BG is there. So I'm going to use the B as a constant. So that's 2B over GC. So that's 1B. So that's 2/1. I'm going to say 2B over 1B. Right, now we sit with different things. And what do they want? And they say AB is equal to 24 units. So keep that in mind. So AB is this whole line over here. So that is 24 units. So now units can be centimeters, units can be meters, it doesn't matter. Whatever answer we give, we must give in units. So AB, the whole line is 24 units, and we must determine AE. So where's AE? So here's AE, the yellowish line, and AH. AH is a smaller one. I'm running out of colors, so I'm going to make this blue, curly blue. So AE is the yellowish line, and AH is the bluish curly line. So let's see what do we have? What can we do? What can we work with first? So what I see here, so here I'm gonna use a triangle here with the 2 blue parallel lines. So there's a 5A and a 3A. So opposite the 3A, you're going to have BE, which is also going to be a 3. And opposite AD, you're going to have AE, which is going to be a 5. So AE, let me just see if I can write it out. So AE divided by AB. So this is AE, the yellow line, divided by AB will give the same as 5 divided by the whole red line, of the whole green line. So it's 5 divided by 8A. So it's 5A divided by 8A. Let me just write it in this form. AD divided by AC. and AD is 5A, and AC is 5A plus 3B. So this is this whole line over here. So that's 8A. 8A. So we have that part. We need AE and AB. Remember, AB is this whole line. That's 24 units. They have given us that. And that 24 units we can write as 24. So we don't need to write a B or any constant because we know that is units. All right, so now we have that. And here now you can see it's just two constants that can cancel out. And then it's just a normal math sum that remain. AE equals 5 times 24 divided by 8. So let's just use a calculator to speed things up. 5 times 24 divided by 8. That gives us 15. So AE, the yellowish line, equals 15 units. Remember, we're talking about units, so let's keep it in units. Right. So let's now see what we have. What's the next question? Is they wanted the AH, the blue curly line. So let's see what can we use. So the blue curly line, let's use the triangle, but I'm going to use this two green parallel lines. Then can you see that the blue line, curly line, AH, is opposite the 1B, and then this HB is opposite 2B. So I'm using these two parallel lines. So if I do that, then this line is opposite that one. And this whole line over here, so I'm going to do it just for now in a different color and a bit darker. So this whole line over here is opposite this one because it divides by that two parallel lines. All right. So if we do that, let's just see what can we do. If there's a type of equation that we can write out. So there we have a 1B, there's a 2B. We need that. We don't have HB. So the equation, I'm just going to move the things here on top. So the equation that I'm looking at is AH. Oops. So AH is the one that we want. I'm going to divide that by the rest of the line, HB. So I'm saying this divided by HB equals GC divided by this BG. And if we do that, then we can already say GC is 1B divided by BG is 2B, and the B's cancel out. So that answer is just a half. So we already have that part. Now, let's see what do we have on the side. We know the yellow line is 15. We know the big red line is 24. So we sit with this part that we can work out, which is 24 minus 15, which is 9. So BE, let's put it in this here at the bottom, BE equals the 9 units. So we have that. So that's 9. We have 15, but we need this part over here. So I'm looking if I can get HB. And if I can get HB, then we can do that. Let's see if we can do something different. So I'm going to say here AH, but I'm going to use the whole line now of 24. So let's see if I can use AH divided by the whole AB. So this is AH divided by the whole AB. And I'm going to say that's GC divided by BC. So that's GC divided by BC. Because keep in mind, we're still dividing with this two parallel lines. So AH is opposite the GC, there you can see, and AB is the big line, is opposite BC. AB opposite BC. So GC is 1B, BG is 2B, so both of that together is 3B. So BC is 3B, and GC is 1B. And as you can see, the two B's cancel out, and the answer is just 1/3. And the reason I'm using this is, I'm going to use a different color here. The reason I'm using this is because AB is given. That's a 24 units. And now all of that is equal to 1/3. And now we can just work out the AH, which is 24 divided by 3. That will give you 8. So AH is equal to 8. So that's this. AH over here is 8. And that's the answer. So what I did here on top, the equation is correct, but I'm struggling here with this HB. And HB is this here, and I have 9, but I don't have HE. That's why I couldn't use this one. So I'm going to leave it there so that you can just understand how I worked it out. But I've used this one now because AB I do have, which is 24, and the GC and this one's I have, that's just ratios. That's why I could work this one out much better. All right, let's do one last one. So for this, we have this triangle, the big one, ACH, AGH, and we also have the rectangle ABCD. They want, the question is find DM. So that is what they want. So let's just see what they give. So they give this as 20. So this is 20 units. So it's just write their units. So we already know the answer we need will be in units. So that's 20 units. FG is 15. CH is 21. That's what they give. Then they also give this AB is parallel to GH. So let's just maybe do this. So that line is parallel to that line. But just keep in mind, they do say this is a rectangle. So if that's a rectangle, then we know that this here, this green line is also parallel, because the two, if you have a rectangle, the two opposite lengths or sides will be parallel. So that's why we know if that, and that is parallel. So we will now know GH and FC. So we can actually extend this now to FC. This whole line is parallel. So now, if you can see, we're still busy with proportions. So if we use this red triangle now, that one, and that one, then we sit with a red triangle of which we have two lines that are parallel to each other. So before we even start, we can already see that AF and AC, that's opposite each other, and GF and HC, that is opposite each other. So do you understand what I've said? So because these two lines are parallel, they are opposite each other, and AF and the whole AC. AC is from that point to that point. Right, so let's see how can we work out DM? DM is this blue part here. So we have that is 20, that is 15, that is 21. So I'm first going to work out AC. So let's work out AC using the proportion theorem. I'm going to write AC divided by CH. So that is that top line, AC divided by CH is equal to AF divided by FG. So AC divided by CH is AF divided by FG. Once you have that right, then your whole sum will be right. That's the most difficult part, to see the proportions in a diagram. So CH, that's 21, AF is 20, FG is 15. So now you can just do the maths to work out AC. So I'm saying is 21 times 20 divide by 15, and I get 28. So AC is equal to 28. So let's just try to do it in a color. So AC is this, this darker blue color here, and that is now equal to this whole ACA, that equal 28 units. Now AC is 28, and if, keep in mind the red, the yellow, the rectangle ABCD, if that's a rectangle, then AC is one of the diagonals, and that will equal DB. So AC is 28, that means DB is also 28 units. And if you have a rectangle that looks like that, and you have the two diagonals that intersect at that point, that means this line here and that one are equal to each other, and this one there is equal to each other. So because DB equals 28, it intersects there by M. That means DM is equal to MB, and it is just a half. So there we can say DM equal MB, and that will be 28 divided by 2, which gives us 14 units. So DM that we're looking for, that answer is 14 units. So again, just to summarize, the most important thing in this proportion theorem is just to identify the triangle that you're busy with, which is in red over here, and the green parallel lines. So in all the questions that we've done, as you can see, I've drawn a triangle. Here's it in red, and the two blue parallel lines. Then you can work out the proportions, and I've done it with each and everything. You have to have the parallel lines, and then you can complete the question. So thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.